May lihim bang plano ang Marcos administration na baguhin ang konstitusyon para pigilan ang pagbabalik ng mga Duterte sa 2028? Ayon kay Lito Banayo, may mga galaw umanong hindi nakikita ng publiko mula sa Senate leadership change, impeachment trial hanggang sa posibleng charter change. Kung totoo ang alegasyong ito, hindi lang ito usapin ng reforma, kundi isang malaking laban para sa kapangyarihan. Kaya ang tanong ngayon, sino ang tunay na makikinabang kapag binago ang rules bago mag-2028? Ang pinaka-main issue dito, may ibinunyag si Banayo tungkol sa Umano'y plano na baguhin ang konstitusyon. Pero ang tanong, reforma ba ito o political survival? Pero bago tayo magpatuloy, kung ikaw ay isa ring manggagawa abroad na gaya ko, isang like at subscribe lang, masaya na po tayo. Daghang salamat! Si Lito Banayo mismo ang naglahad ng impormasyon na nakuha raw niya mula sa isang credible source. Again, allegation ito, pero hindi ito dapat baliwalain dahil seryoso ang laman. Dito dapat gumising ang publiko. Kapag ang isang political insider ay nagsabing may ganitong klaseng impormasyon, hindi sapat ang sabihing, chismis lang yan. Ang tamang tanong, may meeting ba talaga? Sino ang nandoon? Ano ang pinag-usapan? At bakit hindi ito transparent sa taumbayan? Ito ang warning sa publiko. Kapag ang saligang batas ay pinag-uusapan sa likod ng saradong pinto, dapat maging seryoso ang taumbayan. Hindi ito pag-aari ng palasyo, hindi ito pag-aari ng kongreso, hindi ito pag-aari ng kahit sinong political family. Ang konstitusyon ay pag-aari ng sambayanang Pilipino. Kung may term extension na kasama sa charter change, hindi na ito simpleng reforma. Ito ay pwedeng maging paraan para pahabain ang kapangyarihan ng mga nakaupo. Kaya huwag tayong bulag. Kapag ang mga politiko mismo ang makikinabang sa rule change, dapat mas doble ang bantay ng taumbayan.
Inside political circles, claims there is an alleged move to amend the Constitution, not for reform, but to prevent a possible return of Duterte power in 2028. On the same day the column came out, the Senate leadership also changed. Was it a coincidence or part of a larger realignment?
Let's have a more in-depth discussion on this issue with veteran political strategist, columnist, and former cabinet official, Ambassador Lito Banayo. Welcome to the Spokes.
Thank you, Sec Relly,
Good morning,
Trixie.
sir.
Good morning.
So your column has causing waves right now. So what do you think? After the Senate coup, do you think that that was a coincidence after your column came out?
I didn't expect that there would be a Senate coup on the day that column appeared. I wrote that column on Saturday morning and filed it before to my opinion editor, based on the revelation of somebody very credible who told me and about 9 other people over lunch that there was a meeting at the new center of political gravity in this country, which is a casino resort hotel facing Manila Bay.
All right.
And present were the Speaker of the House, Speaker Boji D,
Yes.
one of his deputy secretaries, the deputy
Speakers.
speakers. Then there was Senate President or former Senate President Tito Soto, along with the Secretary of the Senate, Dong Mendoza. No? And what was discussed, what was on the table, was the move to constitute a constituent assembly to amend the Constitution. And apparently, from my source, it was the timetable is soon. No, soon, which of course, the same way as forthright can be immediately or can be after the SONA.
Yeah.
Actually, that's the question, sir.
Yeah, it would be so.
Is there time for that?
What was discussed was first as sweeteners, so that both the House and the Senate would agree, was term extension for senators who will face re-election in 2028, so 3-year term extension, and term extension for congressmen who will have to run in 2028 because they only have 3 years, a 3-year term. No, this is supposed to be the sweeteners that would convince them to agree to a constituent assembly to amend the Constitution.
Dito mas lalong bumibigat ang aligasyon. Ayon kay Banayo, may sweeteners umano, kabilang ang term extension para sa ilang senador at kongresista. Kapag narinig ng publiko ang salitang term extension, dapat automatic na mag-ingat. Kung may term extension na kasama sa charter change, hindi na ito simpleng reforma. Ito ay pwedeng maging paraan para pahabain ang kapangyarihan ng mga nakaupo. Kaya huwag tayong bulag. Kapag ang mga politiko mismo ang makikinabang sa rule change, dapat mas doble ang bantay ng taumbayan. May isa pang proposal, gawing regional ang pagpili ng mga senador. Sa unang pakinggan, maganda ito dahil parang mas may boses ang bawat rehiyon. Pero ang tanong, bakit ngayon? Bakit kasabay ng impeachment? Bakit kasabay ng usapan sa 2028? Huwag tayong madala sa magandang packaging. Minsan ang isang proposal ay mukhang reforma, pero ang tunay na epekto ay nasa timing at motibo. Kaya ang dapat itanong, para ba talaga ito sa mas magandang representasyon o parte ito ng mas malaking political survival plan? Ayon kay Banayo, hindi lang daw ito basta haka-haka. Nag-check daw siya sa sources sa Congress at may mga bulong umano tungkol dito. Hindi pa ito official proof, pero sapat ito para maging alerto ang publiko. Ganito kadalasan nagsisimula ang malalaking galaw sa politika. Una, bulungan. Sunod, denial. Pagkatapos, biglang may proposal na. Kaya kapag may whispers na tungkol sa pagbabago ng konstitusyon, hindi dapat naghihintay ang publiko na mahuli ang lahat bago kumilos sa pamamagitan ng pagbabantay at pagtatanong. Dito ginamit ni Banayo ang history bilang babala. Binalikan niya ang panahon ni Marcos Sr., ang Constitutional Convention at ang martial law period. Hindi natin sinasabing pareho na ito ngayon, pero may dahilan kung bakit mahalagang alalahanin ang kasaysayan. Ang kasaysayan ay hindi dekorasyon, babala ito. Kapag ang mga nasa kapangyarihan ay nagsimulang baguhin ang rules habang may political crisis, dapat maging maingat ang taumbayan. Hindi tayo dapat paranoid, pero hindi rin tayo dapat bulag.
No? The other sweetener for the senators, or probably for the public, was that senators would thereafter, after the new constitution, or after the constitution is amended, senators would be elected by region, which is one of the fervent desires of the Visayas Mindanao voters. That's why they opted for
Understandably so,
federalism,
yes.
no?
Yes.
Puro taga-NCR ang senador natin. And so there was discussion on whether there would be 2 per region, which means 18 regions right now, times 2, 36, or 3 per region, which makes it 54. And conveniently, the new Senate building, which is supposed to be finished by next year, has enough space for as many as 60 or 65 senators.
Sir, are there really actual movements happening already in Congress and the Senate?
Okay, I checked with sources in Congress, and they confirmed that there are whispers about that. But since they are not from the majority, they could not specifically, confirm whether totoo or yung timetable, when it's going to be done.
I'm just curious kasi did they think they still have the time to do the CONAS? I mean, barely 2 years
Plus-
before the 2028.
Plus impeachment.
Plus the impeachment and other things.
Let's go back
Okay.
in history. This is when the father of the present leader,
President, yes.
President Ferdinand Marcos Sr., opted for a constitutional convention and had supervised an election to constitutional convention.
Yes.
He did it in 1971. The next election would be 1973. When he is already term limited, no? Hanggang 1973 lang siya. 1971, nag-election for the Constitutional Convention, and in 1972, the Constitutional Convention started its after election, it started its convening, no? It was convened 1972. And months thereafter,
Martial law.
martial law was proclaimed in September 21, 1972.
So on that basis, you're saying that in their minds, it can happen.
It can happen. Pag
While everything
nagkakasundo-
is going on.
Pag nagkakasundo yung congressmen at yung mga senators, madali yan. And in fact, no less than Deputy Speaker Ronaldo Puno, months ago, already proposed, what he proposed was a constitutional convention, elected delegates sa constitutional convention or a
Yes.
CONCON.
Bakit Constituent Assembly ang sinasabi? Dahil mas mabilis daw ito at mas madaling kontrolin. At kapag ang proseso ng pagbabago ng konstitusyon ay mabilis at madaling kontrolin ng mga politiko, mas lalong kailangan ang public scrutiny. Diyan tayo dapat kabahan. Ang konstitusyon ay hindi dapat minamadali. Hindi ito dapat ginagawa dahil convenient sa mga nakaupo. Kapag mabilis, kontrolado at kulang sa public participation, delikado yon para sa demokrasya. Ayon kay Banayo, may takot umano sa posibilidad na bumalik ang Duterte camp sa kapangyarihan sa taong 2028. Ito raw ang isa sa malalaking dahilan kung bakit may mga galaw ngayon. Kung totoo ito, ibig sabihin hindi lang reform ang usapan. Power struggle ito. Ito ang dapat seryosohin ng publiko. Kapag ang charter change ay ginagamit para pigilan ang isang political rival, hindi na ito simpleng constitutional reform. Nagiging political weapon na ito. At kapag ang constitution ay ginawang weapon, ang unang talo dyan ay ang taumbayan. May takot daw ang ilang nasa kapangyarihan sa tinatawag na revenge government. Pero kailangan nating maging patas. May pahayag din na si VP Sara Duterte raw ay nagsabing hindi siya vengeful. Ang mahalaga dito ay hindi emosyon, kundi ebidensya at transparency. Ang warning dito, huwag tayong magpadala sa fear narrative. Kapag sinasabi ng isang kampo na delikado ang kabilang kampo, dapat nating itanong, totoo ba yan? O ginagamit lang para bigyang katwiran ang pagbabago ng rules. Ayon kay Banayo, may mga tao raw na posibleng natatakot sa accountability kapag bumalik sa kapangyarihan ang Duterte side. Kung totoo ito, mas lalong lumalabas na ang issue ay hindi lang governance, kundi self-preservation. Dito dapat maging seryoso ang taumbayan. Kapag ang mga nakaupo ay gumagawa ng hakbang hindi para ayusin ang bansa, kundi para protektahan ang sarili nila sa posibleng pananagutan, malaking problema iyon. Ang gobyerno ay hindi dapat shield ng makapangyarihan. Isa pa sa pinakamabigat na sinabi ni Banayo, kung i-deny daw ng mga leader na may meeting, maaari niyang ibunyag ang source niya. Ibig sabihin, seryoso siya sa kanyang claim. Ngayon, dapat bantayan ito ng publiko. Magde-deny ba ang mga opisyal? Maglalabas ba ng ebidensya si Banayo? May iba pa bang magsasalita? Hindi dapat mamatay ang issue na ito sa isang news cycle lang. Kapag constitution ang nakataya, kailangan ng malinaw na sagot. Habang abala ang mga politiko sa impeachment, leadership change at charter change, may mas malaking problema ang ordinaryong Pilipino. Presyo ng bilihin, utang, inflation at posibleng krisis sa pagkain. Ito ang masakit. Habang nag-aagawan ng kapangyarihan ang mga nasa itaas, ang taumbayan ang naghihirap sa baba. Kaya dapat tanungin natin ang Marcos administration. Bakit charter change ang pinag-uusapan kung ang ordinaryong Pilipino ay hirap sa presyo ng pagkain at pang-araw-araw na gastos?
But he already proposed this, no?
So con us.
Yeah.
Because it's faster. We assume that they're going for a constituent assembly. One, because it's faster. Two, it's easier to control.
It's easier to control.
But you discussed in your column a proposal that there would be increases in the number of senators because they would be elected by region. What about congressmen? Would they maintain the bicameral nature of the legislature?
Yeah, they would double. Because they need the Senate to convene a constituent assembly.
That's right.
So they cannot
So they
move
have to
away from
promise.
that. No, they have to promise. It's not going to be a unicameral assembly. It's
Yes.
not going to be parliamentary, but still presidential and
That's interesting.
bicameral.
But they simply increase the number of senators.
Yes.
And maintain the number of
because
congressmen.
right now,
Again,
if
the
you look at the
sweetener.
Senate, siguro half of it are from really residents, and not only residents, but really from Metro Manila.
I agree.
No? Ang Region 7, walang senador. Region 6, mga Ilonggo, walang senador. No? I mean, it's, and in Mindanao, I think there are only 3 senators. No?
So,
Well, you said that many in power fear that may happen after June 30, 2028. What exactly are they afraid of, sir?
Well, the major political problem of this country is the vociferous people in this country, and most of us are divided, highly polarized between
Yes.
what is called the DDS or
yes.
Diehard
Duterte supporters, and what I would call the DDH, the diehard Duterte haters. No, some people simply do not want any Duterte back in power. No, and they are afraid, and that gets more ample, shall we say, currency, because many of the DDS have for their messaging yung pag kami na ang nasa poder, kawawa kayo, babalikan namin kayo, and all that, no? Which makes the DDH even more panicky. And among the DDH, of course, are the administration stalwarts, including the President of the Philippines himself.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay. But VP, noticeably in a recent interview, he said that, most people don't really know, but that I'm not vengeful. She may speak sharply, but anybody who has been through her mayoralty in Davao City will understand that she is not the vengeful type. She does prefer certain people to be working with her, but really the
That's not her
idea or the
character.
concept of a vengeful
I agree with
presidency.
that, Sec Trixie. In fact, even in the OVP,
Yes.
remember, previous to her, it was Leni Robredo, who was the vice president. She kept almost all the staff from the OVP who were appointed by Leni Robredo, except for, of course, the top officials, her chief of staff, her spokesperson, her Heya.
Yes,
Almost everybody else remained.
But you said that the president might be one of those who are afraid of the possibility of a revenge government. Does this mean that he believes that VP Inday is going to win as
Well,
president?
after all that he and his cabal of supporters have done to
The
not only to
Dutertes.
Inday but to
Her
the father,
family,
yeah.
President Duterte, you would expect that, no? And we have a short history of that, no? Post-martial law, you had ERAP, no? Who was detained, no? Then you had GMA, who was detained under President Aquino. So hindi kataka-taka na mangyari yon. And of course, we know that this flood control scandal will not stop within the term of President Bongbong Marcos, no?
And
It's
somebody
going
has to be
continue
accountable,
before.
right?
People have to be accountable. And many of the people who have to be accountable are either in the legislature or the cabinet or higher than cabinet.
So one of the factors that you're saying that this could happen is because you're pretty confident that the Senate will acquit VP Inday.
That is speculative on my part.
Yes, of course.
Why? Because it's common. I mean, every observer thinks that a threshold of 16 votes to convict is knee-high impossible.
Yes.
Given the present composition of the Senate. So pivotal here are the re-electionist senators. Because if you're a re-electionist senator, unless perhaps you're a Rafi Tulfo, or even a Robin Padilla, you would probably, you will have to consider that 34% of the voters of this country are either from the Mindanao or Central Visayas. And that is the political fortress of the Dutertes. So, pag nag-convict ka, you can expect some backlash. And this was proven in the 2025 midterm elections. No?
That's true.
There really was a strong backlash from Mindanao and the Central Visayas regions. No? So, mas malamang sa hindi, you will vote to acquit. Along with, of course, the nine minority now majority senators. No?
13 na sila.
13 na sila ngayon.
Tumawid na sina Lauren. But speaking of the senators, do you think that they're in survival? That would imply that they're in survival mode. They need to maintain some kind of hold on power, even if, well, many of them are re-electionists. The
Still
others
political
are,
survival.
term enders na sina, like sina Senator
The consideration.
Yung re-elections would be the brothers
Robin.
Estrada,
Yes.
Mark Villar, Rafi Tulfo, Robin Padilla, Loren Legarda. I think that's about it.
And then the term enders.
The term enders
Zubiri.
are Risa, Mig Subiri, and may isa pa eh.
Joel ba?
Joel Villanueva.
Villanueva. So
yung 2028 survival, this is really
If you're promised
impeachment.
a 3-year extension,
one of the main consideration in the impeachment trial, you think it's also that political survival of the election.
Impeachment is always more about politics than legal issues. No?
Do you see a scenario where the VP gets acquitted, but there'll still be a con-ass?
Possible, no? Yeah.
But that will change the nature. That might change the entire makeup of the con-ass, or its result. So do you think matutuloy pa rin yung CONAS if VP is acquitted?
I suspect, and pardon me if I do not mention who gave me that information
We
because he was
understand.
there. But if the Senate President or the Speaker deny that this meeting happened, no, then I will be forced to say to reveal who my source is. No? But I would think that my source revealed it, not only to me, but to 8 others, no, over lunch, was because he found it unacceptable.
Yes, of
That
course.
he thought that it is something na hindi dapat mangyari.
Particularly since the purpose seems to be a no Duterte future.
Yeah, and by the way, when I confirmed this with 3 legislators, 1 senator and 2 congressmen, no, one of the congressmen who voted who abstained from voting rather, asked if he would be free to inform some of his senator friends about this. And I said, bakit kailangan pa sabihin sa mga senador o sa mga kaibigan mo senador? Pwede rin naman ako na magsabi, sabi ko. Hindi, sabi niya, I understand that you would not want to do it yourself, he said. But may ugong-ugong kasi sa mangyayari sa Senado. So I at that time I didn't know what it was. Except on Monday,
it was a change of
a change of leadership.
Pero there's a lot of things happening already in the country.
Yung kay Senator
Precisely. Former Senate Finance Secretary Sonny Dominguez texted me a long message after reading my column, and he said na, I hope the new Senate leadership will focus on the things that matter.
Yeah.
The economy is in really, really very bad shape. No? It is. No? Our debt to GDP ratio is now 66%. No?
Dangerous
our inflation rate is 7.2%, and we expect it to go higher because yung March lang ang na-capture no first quarter 7.2%.
Crisis is not
April,
over
May, ngayon nagkagulo na naman sa Iran, 'di ba, sa Middle East, no?
Yes.
So tataas pa 'yan, no? We face, and I've been saying this before, we will face a rice crisis by the end of this year and worse next year because the super El Nino is upon us, no? And it's going to affect not only us, but major rice-producing countries as well. Vietnam, Thailand, India, Pakistan. So mabigat ang magiging problema ng bansa. But again, going back to history, Sec Trixie, Sec Relly, ganito rin ang nangyari noong 1972. We had a major food crisis in 1972 because not of El Nino, but La Nina. All of Central Luzon was flooded. We didn't have any rice harvest in 1972. No? What we had was a bumper crop of corn in the Mindanao and the Visayas. No? So again, that was one of the reasons probably why President Ferdinand Marcos Sr. thought it was time, considering na meron na siyang CONAS, pero wala constitutional convention, pero hindi pa tapos, it was time to go into martial law.
And then later on, nagka-oil crisis. Sunod-sunod yun.
73 was an oil crisis. No?
Yeah.
No?
So almost the same situation.
Correct.
Deja vu.
Yeah, deja vu.
Iyan ang tanong na dapat dalhin ng bawat Pilipino pagkatapos ng video na ito. Hindi natin sinasabing proven na ang lahat ng allegation, pero hindi rin tayo dapat maging bulag. Kapag may usapan ng charter change, term extension, impeachment, Senate leadership change, at 2028 power struggle, dapat seryoso ang taumbayan. Mag-ingat tayo sa anumang administrasyon, kabilang ang Marcos administrasyon, kapag ang galaw ay tila papunta sa pagbabago ng rules habang hawak nila ang kapangyarihan. Ang demokrasya ay hindi namamatay sa isang araw. Minsan, unti-unti itong humihina habang ang publiko ay tahimik, pagod o hindi na nagtatanong. Kaya ang panawagan natin, huwag maging bulag, huwag maging panatiko, huwag basta maniwala sa kahit sinong politiko. Bantayan ang ebidensya, bantayan ang Senado, bantayan ang Kongreso, bantayan ang Malacanang. Dahil kapag ang saligang batas ang nakataya ay hindi lang ang 2028 election. Ang nakataya ay ang kinabukasan ng buong bansa.